guys, it's Brooke. Welcome back to my channel, or to my channel if you're new here. I hope you guys stay. So for today's video, I'm doing something that I never thought I would be doing on my channel, and that is talking to you guys about something kind of personal, and that is the story of the first time I got my period, which was literally the most embarrassing thing to ever happen to me. I guarantee this beats every single my first period horror story you guys have ever heard. Like, even thinking back to this time is just triggering me. But that is the video that I have planned today. So if you guys want to hear about the most embarrassing thing to ever happen to anyone ever, and maybe if you've had a bad experience, you want to feel better about your experience because there's no way anything is worse than this, keep watching this video. But before I get started, make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't. Help me reach 5K by the end of summer. Join our family here. I love you all so much, and let's jump right into this story time. Now, you guys can skip ahead to hear the story, but I'm gonna rant for just a minute. I feel like there is a weird stigma, and ladies, you can agree or disagree with me, but I just feel like there is this weird stigma around periods, and a lot of times I feel like women are almost embarrassed by their period. I know sometimes when I go to pick up lady products, I sometimes feel embarrassed walking up to the cash register for some reason. And it just boggles my mind that this is something that I get embarrassed by, because it's something that is just natural. And it happens so that we can have little babies and bring little nuggets into this world. Like, it is not something to be embarrassed by. And for so long, I have always been embarrassed by my period, so I felt like what better way than to remove myself from this stigma, remove myself from this embarrassment, by telling you guys a story about one of the most horrifying things that ever happened to me dealing with the first time I got my period, which is something I never thought I would talk about out of like embarrassment and fear, but I'm finally deciding to let that go because I just want to be free from that and just not be embarrassed of any of my bodily functions. That kind of sounded gross. Alright, let's get into the story time. So I was a very young bloomer. I was in 6th grade when I got my period. I was the earliest out of all of my friends, all of my cousins and close family members, and I was so upset about it. I remember the first time I got my period, it wasn't like my actual period. Like, it just happened for like a couple hours and then stopped, and it didn't happen again. So I don't really count that as my first time. I mean, yes, it was the first time, but like my first real time experiencing my period with the cramps and all of that good stuff that comes along with it is the time that I'm about to tell you guys about. So I was in 6th grade. I was going through puberty a little earlier than all of my friends. I was embarrassed to wear a bra because none of my friends were wearing bras. Like, I was embarrassed of literally my body. And one fine afternoon during a school day in 6th grade, I was sitting in this class, and I literally don't even remember what class it was because like I think like the embarrassment of what happens next just like blacked out everything else in my head. But I'm sitting in this class and I was feeling a little bit weird, like my stomach was hurting, which was kind of odd for me because I don't normally get stomach aches. So I'm just sitting there listening to the teacher, like jotting down notes or whatever we did in 6th grade, probably reading a book, and my stomach's kind of hurting a little bit, but not like bad. It was just like waves of like pain. I can't even explain it. Little did I know I was experiencing cramps. But so the school bell rings to change from one class period to the next class period, no pun intended, and as everyone's getting up and packing up their stuff and getting ready to walk out the door, I get up from my desk and go to put my books in my bag, and I look down and there is blood on my chair. So disgusting. Like, literally so disgusting. And I don't mean like women are disgusting for having periods. That's not disgusting. I'm just saying like blood disgusts me, and like just like ew, blood. I hate blood. Okay, anyway, this is just so embarrassing. Alright, so I get up from my chair and there is blood on my seat, and I'm like, what? I start freaking out. So obviously I knew there was probably blood on the back of my pants, and I didn't have anything on me. I didn't have pads, I didn't have tampons, and I was way too embarrassed to tell my friends, to even tell my mom, to ask the nurse. Like, that wasn't happening. So I take my sleeve of my shirt. This is so nasty. This is literally so nasty. And I try to wipe away the blood. And then I run to my other classroom. And then just as this classroom starts, I'm like, oh my God, like I can't sit on this chair. I'm gonna like bleed all over this chair. I sit on my foot waiting for the teacher to enter the room so I can be like, can I go to the bathroom to fix this situation that is happening? And I'm waiting and waiting and waiting, and it feels like it's going on forever. And mind you, when I was walking to this other class, I probably had blood on my pants. People probably saw, like, I'm embarrassed, it's fine. So then finally the teacher comes and I'm like, can I go to the bathroom? She says, sure. So I'm like, how am I supposed to get up out of this chair without anybody looking at me and noticing that there's blood on my pants? To make a long story short, I couldn't. There was no way. So I get up as quickly as possible. There is now blood on the bottom of my pants and my shoe, and I dart to the bathroom. I don't remember the exact details of how I took care of the situation. I have a feeling it had a lot to do with paper towels and toilet paper, but nonetheless, I took my sweatshirt, I wrapped it around my waist so that like nobody could see the back of me in case I was bleeding through. I cleaned off whatever blood was on me and tried to make it look like I was fine, and boy was I far from fine. I didn't go home, I just stayed in school the rest of the day, feeling like everyone was looking at me, like everyone knew, feeling constantly anxious, thinking, oh my God, like, am I bleeding more? Like, am I bleeding through again? Like, can people see? Did anybody notice? Do I tell my mom? Like, I was so embarrassed and nervous, and looking back on that, I still feel kind of embarrassed, but I don't know. I was just like so shy growing up, and I was like too nervous to like go to the nurse and like ask her if she had anything. But then once I started growing up, I started caring less and less. And I remember in high school, I got my period and I went into the nurse's office and I was like, hi, like, do you guys have any tampons or pads or anything? And the nurse was like, oh, honey, shh, there's a boy right there. And I was like, and? Like, I don't care. I have my period. Like, what? And I remember just being so, like, insulted and triggered by that. Like, no girl should have to, like, be quiet if a boy is around because they're on their period, or be afraid that they're gonna embarrass themselves. Like, no. It's a normal thing. No one should ever feel embarrassed by it. I don't know why I ever did. I'm certainly not now. But yeah, so moral of the story, if you get your period, tell a parent or guardian who you trust. Don't be embarrassed by it or afraid of it. Who cares if you go through puberty earlier than your friends? It really doesn't matter. And stop caring about what people think about you. And yeah, I remember like my cousins would always be like, oh my God, did you get yours yet? Did you get yours yet? And I would always lie and be like, no, I didn't, no, I didn't, no, I didn't, even though I had it for like years. So ridiculous. But looking back, it's like so weird because now it's like I don't care at all. But yeah, so I know this was kind of a weird story time. I just want to like get the message out to other young ladies who are experiencing this, not to be ashamed by your period or embarrassed or feel any sort of way. It's just like a normal human thing that happens, and it's nothing you should be embarrassed by whatsoever. So yeah, if you guys want to hear more embarrassing stories, I have millions and millions of those. Like, I experience a new embarrassing thing every single day. So if you guys want to hear more stories like that, leave this video a thumbs up, and also make sure you guys subscribe. I post every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't already, and share this video with a friend so you guys can help our family grow and reach 5K by the end of summer. I'm very excited for Friday's video, so I hope you guys have your post notifications turned on, because this is a video you are not gonna want to miss. And yes, it does have to do with conspiracy theories, so get ready. Alrighty guys, I will see you on Friday. Have a very happy hump day.